The transfer portal was built to free players. Instead, it quietly became the NFL's cheapest R&D lab. Pros now watch colleges take the development risk, then draft the guys whose games already translate, lower variance, fewer misses, more value. In the next few minutes, I'll show you how NIL money and portal movement turned college football into a live testing ground, why scouts obsess over one translation metric you've probably never heard of, the mistake burning mid-majors right now, and the fixes schools are testing. If you want to spot the hidden arbitrage on draft boards, this is where it starts. NIL sounded simple. Let athletes profit from their name, image, and likeness. But without caps, it became a decentralized payroll system. Add the portal, and you get instant liquidity. Talent can move the moment a better offer or a better fit appears. That combination turned fairness into a market. Here's what most people miss. Collectives function like shadow salary pools. They're not just funding endorsements. They're placing price tags on production potential. The NFL can't pay college players, but it can see every public signal the market emits. When a sophomore edge rusher pulls 6 figures to jump conferences, that's a valuation-free scouting data the league didn't have to buy. Now layer in the movement data. Every transfer is a natural experiment. New OC, new protections, different route trees, different coverage shells. It's a live A/B test under game pressure. If a quarterback's pressure to sack rate drops after moving to a tougher league with a different protection scheme, that's signal. If his EPA per play rises against top 25 defenses while his turnover-worthy plays fall, that's stronger signal. This clicked for me when I noticed how quickly projections stabilize after a transfer season. High school tape is noisy. Different competition, inflated roles, scheme quirks, portal performance collapses that variance fast because you've got cross-environment evidence. Same player, new inputs, measurable deltas. Take the archetype you've seen a dozen times. The QB who sat behind a 5-star transfers and posts a 1-year breakout against a harder schedule. The first instinct is 1-year wonder. But when the breakout comes with improved third down conversion, a broader route distribution, and stable accuracy under pressure, your uncertainty collapses. That's why teams elevate those profiles late in the cycle. The shortcut nobody teaches. NIL dollars are price signals, but they're not proof. You need to separate endorsement hype from graded production. A flashy local brand deal might reflect social reach, not on-field value. The tell is consistency across context, efficiency versus top defenses, performance and long yardage, and adaptability to new terminology. That's what stabilizes quickly after a move. Common mistake, confusing noise for signal by overweighting raw counting stats. A wide receiver can add 400 yards in a tempo offense and still show no improvement in separation or route breadth. The fix is to ask, did the skill set travel? Once you see the portal as a data engine, the economics snap into place. Colleges pay for development via NIL. The portal reveals who scaled in a new system, and the NFL, watching from the balcony, collects the cleanest signals without writing the checks. Now watch how teams exploit it. Draft misses are expensive. You're not just burning a pick, you're tying up cap space, burning roster spots, and delaying wins. So the thing most people miss is how the portal quietly reduces variance. When a player thrives after switching systems, you're not projecting from traits, you're observing translation under stress. That's gold for decision makers who hate uncertainty. Here's how teams actually use it. They build pre- and post-transfer profiles that live next to the medicals and interviews. EPA per play, success rate on third and medium, pressure to sack rate, scramble EPA, man versus zone efficiency for receivers, coverage snaps and penalties for DBs. Then they isolate games against top 25 defenses to see how performance holds when the windows get tight. If the deltas hold in tougher environments, your confidence jumps. The shortcut nobody teaches is the translation score. It's a composite that asks, did the skill set travel when the playbook, protection, and competition changed? For some positions, that outperforms raw combine traits. QBs who maintain accuracy under pressure after a transfer, receivers who expand their route tree and keep separation versus press, DBs who move from zone-heavy to man-heavy schedules without a spike in penalties. That's sticky performance. Speed is nice, portable processing is better. Quarterbacks get the biggest lift because system translation is everything. A passer moving from a one-read RPO menu to a progression-heavy offense and keeping turnover-worthy plays low tells you he can process. The pressure to sack rate dropping with a new protection language signals pocket understanding, not just athletic escape. Once you see that, everything else clicks. Wide receivers benefit when the route tree broadens. If a transfer adds digs, outs, and posts to a diet that used to be slants and bubbles, and his success rate versus press edges up, you're learning about release packages and timing, not just raw speed. The game changer nobody talks about is how often these players maintain efficiency on third down after the move. Third down is the truth serum. Defensive backs are the quiet winners. Moving from a zone spot drop scheme to more man coverage is a stress test. If their yards per target stabilize and penalties don't spike, you've got adaptability. Teams will tag that as scheme agnostic, which makes the pick safer for multiple defensive coordinators. Let me show you exactly how this shifts boards. A player jumps to a tougher conference and improves yards per attempt, while cutting turnover-worthy plays. He also maintains third down conversion rate despite a worse run game. The boardroom conversation changes from one-year wonder to portable decision-maker. That's often the difference between a day 3 flyer and a solid day 2 grade. Now here's where most people mess up. They overweight a single explosive season without context, age, supporting cast, and scheme simplicity matter. A transfer into a hyper-simplified system can inflate counting stats while masking weaknesses. If you ignore situational splits, 2-minute drill, red zone, backed up possessions, you'll chase noise. Scouting process changes reflect this reality. There's more portal film and early round meetings and fewer bets on high school projection in those slots. Teams save the raw lottery tickets for later picks, where the opportunity cost is lower. Meanwhile, colleges are funding the training through NIL. The league captures the upside without paying for the reps, the nutrition, the coaching time, or the late season knocks. That's pure arbitrage. And the competitive edge is real. Franchises that model translation are stealing day 2 starters. Laggards still fall in love with straight line speed or arm strength without asking whether the player's game survives a new language, new cadence, and tighter windows. The reason this works is simple. The portal compresses uncertainty by creating cross-environment tape. You're not guessing, you're stress testing in public. Once you nail that, everything else clicks. The draft becomes less of a casino and more of a discount market where proof of concept trades at a premium. But every edge warps the ecosystem. If the NFL is lowering risk, someone else is carrying it, and colleges are starting to feel the bill. On campus, the portal economy looks different. Mid-majors develop a player for 2 years, invest coaching time, reps, and NIL to keep him engaged. Then a bigger brand flashes a larger package and a better path to the playoff, and the player moves. The original school loses production and has to pay more just to replace what walked out the door. That's the retention tax. The thing most people miss is that retention is pricier than acquisition. A breakout season resets expectations. Donors and collectives face a decision: overpay to keep 1 star or spread dollars across depth. Many choose the former, which strains the budget and shortens the runway for everything else. Non-revenue sports feel it first as resources shift to football and men's basketball portal battles. Short-term wins, long-term erosion. A 2-tiered system emerges. Elite programs aggregate talent with bigger collectives and clearer NFL pipelines. Everyone else becomes a farm team, unintentionally. You see it in positions that command premiums. Offensive tackles with clean pass pro tape and DBs with proven man skills rise fastest. Roster instability spikes as staffs juggle annual rebuilds. Coaching churn follows when retention misses stack up and win totals sag. Now you might be thinking, why not build culture so players stay? Schools are trying. Multi-year NIL structures that escalate, clear development plans, and stickiness narratives about life after football. Some target positions where development is a local edge. Offensive line rooms with continuity, DB rooms with strong technical coaching. Others brand themselves as the place where transfers thrive, hoping it becomes a loop. Come here, get better, get noticed. The limitations are real. Legal gray areas make hard contracts tricky. Donor fatigue sets in when every offseason feels like free agency. And sustainability is a question nobody wants to answer. If your balance sheet depends on yearly fundraising sprints to hold a roster together, one bad season can trigger a downward spiral. Meanwhile, the NFL keeps benefiting from a cleaner read on who's ready. Here's the uncomfortable math. Colleges pay the development costs. Coaches, meals, strength staff, treatment, countless live reps, plus the rising retention taxes. The portal then exposes which players scale in a tougher context. The NFL drafts the proven ones with less risk and none of the training expense. It's efficient for the league, but it's a subsidy from campuses. So where does this go? Near term, expect more modeling, not less. Translation metrics will get sharper, and retention premiums will rise. Some schools will experiment with revenue-sharing frameworks, standardized NIL terms, or loyalty incentives tied to academics and post-career support. Others will double down on scouting undervalued positions and building depth that survives attrition. This is where it gets real for athletic departments. The portal is not going away, and NIL is not shrinking. If you can't build a system that retains development value, or at least captures a brand return when players leave, you'll keep subsidizing the NFL's risk reduction. The edge is clear, the bill is too. Here's the takeaway. The portal turned college football into an unpaid beta test, and the NFL is harvesting lower risk, already validated talent, while schools foot the bill. Short term, expect more translation models, heavier weighting on cross-environment tape, and rising retention taxes for programs that actually develop. Watch for standardizing NIL terms, loyalty incentives tied to academics, and post-career support, and early revenue-sharing pilots to slow churn. If you want a practical edge, scan draft boards for late risers with clean post-transfer splits, stable third down efficiency, lower pressure to sack rates, and performance that holds versus top 25 defenses. That's where the arbitrage lives. If you want the advanced breakdown on portal translation metrics and a simple model you can use to spot value picks before draft night, subscribe and cue the next episode. We'll map the exact inputs and thresholds so you can see it coming.